Hey guys, we're going to be going back to the Tifa Silver Crown fight. Got a lot of requests saying show me a way to do it if I don't have Barret, etc. Also the old materia power to defy fate, maybe you missed it. So we're going to be going back. So like I mentioned in a previous video, the Cloud Strife can carry this pretty hard, but Sisney and Sonnen are also pretty decent damage dealers here. Reno was free, Aerith was free. So the whole party is basically free, except for Cloud. Now, I will tell you up front, I am using very powerful gear, but we're not using the power to destroy fate, which is probably the biggest deal of all. We're not using that because that is a pretty old limited materia. Okay, anyway, so because the boss does a lot of damage, and we gotta kind of kill him before we die, and we're not using a tank specifically, we're gonna kill him by turn 3. So we're gonna start Cloud on the shift form, go to the base form, and use his base form LB for the Greatsword Imperil. Now his base form is geared for 1000% fill rate, a bunch of LB per turn, etc. Now we're going to try to refill Cloud with drops. So Aerith is going to quad, we're going to Shelga, Protectka, and then double Flame Fang to get crystal drops. Sonnen is going to We Won't Forgive and Forget, double Bolting. Sisney is going to do Mirage, that is important. Then we're going to do Frontline Ruination, and last action, Funeral Pyre Stance to focus her. Reno will triple. We're going to Defense Pyramid, make sure it's enhanced. Defense Pyramid for the mitigation. Pyramid's Peak for the breaks, and then AR for crystal drops. Now we're not really doing damage this turn. This is just for drops. Hopefully if you go to Cloud, yeah, there we go. He's got 1000% fill rate, so we're good. Okay. So there is a small chance that Sisney gets killed on that turn if the boss has a lot of magic attacks, because she was focusing. Usually the boss would do some physical attacks and it would be fine because you mirage them. But if the boss chooses to use 4 or 5 magic attacks, Sisney might die. If that happens, try the fight again. Okay, on turn 2, we're going to shift Cloud and do Elemental Burst Lightning, Elemental Lightning, and nothing personal. He's going to do his big damage next turn. We're going to use Reno to summon Lakshmi. We didn't take that much damage, but we are going to take a decent chunk of damage this turn, so we want to be at full health, so we'll just summon Lakshmi there. Aerith is going to use her shifted LB. Sonnen is going to use his LB, and Sisney is going to use her LB. Now, Sisney and Sonnen's normal LBs do chain together. Aerith is going to go first to build the chain and buff the party. Then we're going to chain together Sonnen and Sisney, and we got to push the boss below 70%, which is not too hard to do with this party. So we're going to do this first, then we're going to chain these to jump into that chain after it's been built. The chain broke, that's very unfortunate. We got 71, maybe the threshold's at... No, that wasn't the threshold. Okay, well, actually it worked out either way. So I guess threshold or not, either way it's fine. Yeah, we're supposed to get to 70. The chain broke. That really sucks. Anyway, we're going to keep going. We're probably still going to kill regardless. But if the chain didn't break, we would have done a bunch more damage. Whatever. Now it's time to kill the boss. So we're going to use the shifted LB of Cloud. We are going to use Reno to Scarlet Wave. Sisney will SLB. Sonnen will SLB. And Aerith will build the chain with Quad Flame Thing. So what we're going to do, we're going to send Aerith first to build the chain. Then we're going to click Cloud, then we're going to chain Sisney and Reno together, then we're going to click Sonnen. And that's the chaining thing because Aerith and Sonnen are tag chainers, Cloud's a capper, Sisney and Reno are going to be triple bolting striking. So we're going to do this, and this. And the chain broke again because I'm just bad at this game. But we kill the boss anyway. Yes, these like goofy, weird bolting strike chainers are irritating, but 17.6 on that turn. So the boss has 20 billion. We did 6 or 7 on turn 2, 17.6 on turn 3. Now on turn 3, Cloud did of course hit the damage cap. He could have done way more damage, but idiotic damage caps, really. So the most he can do is 10 billion on that turn. So you really need some support chainers, like Sisney doing 8.7 and Sonnen doing 5.1. Reno's the breaker and Aerith is the buffer. And if the chains didn't break, we would have done a lot more damage. It does work. In a practice run, the chain didn't break. We did a lot more damage, but Sometimes the chain will break and you do a lot less damage. It was still enough, so whatever. But if the chain is breaking, practice it. It does work. It's very, very, very finicky because it's mostly Sisney. Sisney's normal LB, actually both of Sisney's LBs are those like weird bolting strike, not really bolting strike frames, and they break very easily if you're not like slightly offsetting them. Anyway, here's the party that we use. So Reno is on Lakshmi to heal the party. Other than that, gear for your best killers. Aerith is just using some bulk, physical, and spirit. A little bit of wind resist helps if you can fit it, up to 100. And the party needs to be immune to sleep. And then anyone using actual magic like Aerith needs to be immune to silence. And there's the set. Oh, some Esperfill as well for the Lakshmi thing. And then whatever. Sonnen is... Now, the whole party is using great swords because Cloud does a big great sword in peril. So, obviously, that is very useful. So, great swords on everyone. Even if it makes them gear more difficultly, it's still worth it for the in peril. Anyway, Titus's Garb, if you own it, status immunity, LB damage versus Undead. So, maxed LB, maxed Undead. And again, no one is using the power to destroy Fate. If you do have the power to destroy Fate, give that to somebody and you'll do a lot more damage. Cloud Strife in the base form is lots of LB fill, status immunity, etc. 1,000 fill rate, 12 LB per turn. We're using Call of the Wild. If you own it, Dragon's Brush and Paws of Prosperity, they just cut down on RNG. Maybe if you get less crystal drops, but we actually didn't even need those. Shift form is damage. Now, you don't want to focus your best gear on Cloud, like your Clash of Wills helm and all, because he's going to hit the damage cap half naked. He's going to always hit 10 billion, so give your best of your best gear to your other damage dealers. But the rest of them we're using other chess pieces, so he got the chess piece anyway. So there we go. Status immunity and a Undead Killer card, and he's maxed on everything. Maxed LB, maxed Reaver. Sisney is using a greatsword. Now, greatswords on her are kind of harder to build, but her STMR is a throwing weapon, and obviously no one in the party imperils that, so you don't want to use it. Other than that, LB damage versus Undead. Now, like I said, she is kind of squishy on turn 1 because she's focusing, and that does cut down on her spirit by a lot. So make sure you get her, potted up, maxed LB, and only 250 Reaper. And then Reno is just bulk. Oh, he's also our passive provoker. We're actually not using evasion. You don't really need evasion, honestly. Just gear him a little bit of bulk. There we go. You don't need this much. He went to like, what, 75% health at the lowest. It was fine. But I did give him Scarlet Wave to support chain with our DPS. And there it is. There's the no Barret, no Power of Fate clear on Time to Protect. Or first, whatever this is. So the most swappable unit is Sonnen. Sonnen did the least amount of damage, so swap him out for like Yuffie, Sephiroth, Tifa, or Genesis if you pulled for him. Anyway, hope it helps. See you in a bit.